Banking easy. AllianceBankTexas.com.
Welcome back to 365 Sports. Time for a little off the radar, and most of you will know the drill here. For those that may not, just taking a look at a grab bag of stories from around the world of sports. Sometimes giving us a little bit of a break from college football, but that really depends on the news cycle. And I think we're going to be pretty much in the NFL, MLB reign for the next few minutes. And so we'll see if there's any crossover there. But certainly a lot going on. Starting to kind of feel like we're turning that corner from really what was not a quiet June after all. But that's typically when we get into this all-star break period is when things really seem to slow down immensely. This is the time of year, though, when I'm glad we don't have to write sports centers anymore.
Oh, God.
It's like, what is going on to fill out a Sports Center update on July 15th?
Yeah. I never did those.
No, you didn't.
You didn't. And then I'm just going to throw this in. Every time I thought I'd raised to the level of seniority to not have to do them, it would end around and come back that I had to.
We're talking about local radio.
Yeah,
we worked at a local radio station.
But
Craig
we had
and Paul
to do,
and others.
But Craig and I and others had to do Sports Center updates throughout the day. And each of us had a 3 to 4 hour block, depending on, what it was. And this is what's called dead week in sports. So after tonight, Wednesday, Thursday, there's nothing good. There's no live sports going on.
Well, there's the Open Championship leaderboard.
Yeah, that's good. But see, we couldn't.
So like you said.
But for a local Sports Center, if the national one's going to play right before or after it, depending on what time of the hour it was, we can't just be like, all right, Roy or McElroy shot a 700 today at Royal Troon.
Yeah.
That would be something, but we couldn't do that. So it would just be like, hey.
All right.
Yeah, it was pretty dead.
I thought it was a badge of honor to do those things.
No, it was a chore for certain after a while, and especially during weeks like this. But thanks to the SEC having their media days this week, I don't know if that's typically how it falls, but I say do that every year so that we have, or somebody have their media days to keep us busy. And there is a lot actually going on this week thanks to the NFL and Major League Baseball. So let's start off with some NFL. And I figure I just get the best out first. The Washington Commanders have announced they will be retiring the jersey number of legendary wide receiver Art Monk. His number 81 will no longer be worn by any future Commanders. So it is going to be put into the vault, so to speak, with a select few others that I will get to in just a moment. But the Commanders announcing they're retiring his jersey today. They actually have a video out where they did this with Darryl Green last year.
Yep.
And they bring in Art Monk to tell him he's doing something else, and then they surprise him. I haven't had a chance to watch it, but I'm assuming it's along the lines of the Darryl Green video. So I'm definitely going to check that out during a commercial break or right after the show. But they're retiring Monk's jersey. First-round pick in 1980, was with the team from 80 until 93, and then did the typical athlete at the end of his rope, just tries to hang on a little bit, ends up playing for a couple teams, which in his case was the Jets and the Eagles. But he is the 6th player in franchise history to have his jersey number retired. And do you know who those 6 are? Have you already looked at it and seen? Okay, well, the 6.
I looked at the ones who weren't that surprised me, but go ahead.
The 6th player is obviously now Art Monk, but the others that have had previously had their jerseys retired, Sammy Baugh, Bobby Mitchell, Darryl Green, Sonny Jurgensen, and Sean Taylor. Those were the 5. Art Monk is now 6. They will honor him on November the 2nd during their matchup with the Seattle Seahawks. They'll also, during that game, be wearing throwback burgundy and gold jerseys that are a tip of the cap to when he played. The all-time leading receiver when he retired in 1995. Did you see where he is now?
Like 10th?
24th.
It's ridiculous, yeah.
He retired. He was the all-time leading receiver. 30 years later, he's 24th because the game's a little bit different. But there you go. Art Monk getting his jersey retired. I know you have to be thrilled with that. He's like your favorite player ever.
I am. And they're going to wear the Redskins helmets that weekend too, Garrett.
No, they're not.
No, there's no way they're going to.
No, they're not.
I wish.
I love the guy. It took him a while to get in the Hall of Fame, but wide receivers tend to do that. Irvin and others have had to wait. Actually, there are people who are in the voters and a lot of NFL media that think Gary Clark was better. Gary Clark was the motor of a lot of what they did, but this quiet. He didn't speak to the media much.
And you believe that hurt him, actually?
Yep, no question. There are a couple of others that maybe did not do interviews, which, by the way, that's an NFL Players Association. They know they're supposed to talk to the media, but he never did much. I love the guy, quiet during the great years of that run. It's the teams, the players that are not a part of this jersey. Charlie Taylor, who I think is the greatest receiver ever in that history. He's a Hall of Famer. John Riggins, some of those hogs on the offensive line. Let's just say Russ Grimm is one, or Mark May or Joe Jacoby. That kind of surprised me as somebody that had not. And then also maybe even Charles Mann. But those, I went to RFK and watched and covered a game against Dallas in '93 after they won their Super Bowl their first year with the triplets. And that stadium had like 80 names on their Ring of Honor, which is cheapens it. I mean, guys like that played banjo at maybe a local sports bar's names were on there. They are trying to reinvent this, and what they did with Art Monk, it's about time.
Yeah, I think it's long overdue. I think the Josh Harris regime is slowly trying to claw back, its history and all of that. And I would say if they were ever going to put the Redskins logo back on, now feels like the time you could do it, but they're not going to do it based on everything that they've said. And I think they could probably do it and get away with it, so to speak, not without any backlash, but I just think the environment's much different than when they finally did away with it. But I don't think they're even trying to go down that road. I think they're going to make it fresh, but harken back. And I don't know how they still do that at this point, but he will be going in, and they will have at least jerseys that are a nod back to that era. So he was a favorite of mine growing up, and I think it's really cool to see him honored all these years later. Now, it said I hadn't watched the video, but there was a recap of it in the, did you watch the video by any chance?
No. Okay. I want to be by myself where I can show tears.
Well, yeah. Well, that's understandable.
I did it with Darryl Green. I love Darryl Green.
But the video is basically Josh Harris going to Monk's house with guys like Doug Williams and Ricky Sanders and Gary Clark, and them going and surprising him and telling him. So you can check that out later. So Gary Clark was involved there. But Commanders retiring number 81 for Art Monk.